Most people are afraid that their writing sounds like AI, but they don't actually know what that means, so they guess. They tweak random sentences, they throw in a swear word, they cut a few adverbs and hope that that magically fixes it. And spoiler alert, it doesn't. In 2026, there are very specific patterns that show up in AI text over and over again, and once you see them, you really can't unsee them. The good news is, if you know what to look for, they are fixable, so you can keep the speed and power of AI without your book reading like a tourist brochure that went to grad school. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jason. I've written 14 books the traditional way, spent 3 years teaching authors at Kindlepreneur how to write and publish, and now I help writers use AI without losing their voice. I read a lot of AI generated and AI assisted writing, and in this video I want to walk you through 7 specific mistakes that absolutely scream AI wrote this, and more importantly, how to fix each one. And I'm not going to just say be more specific and move on, because we're going to talk about what's actually going wrong under the hood and what you should do instead. Let's start with the big one. The first mistake is an over-reliance on metaphors, especially the kind of metaphors that glue big feelings onto vague, inanimate objects or concepts. AI loves this stuff. You'll see cities breathing with innovation, or communities that are tapestries of resilience and hope, marketplaces with anxious hums of opportunity. And each line by itself might sound kind of poetic, but stacked together, it stops feeling like a human picking specific comparisons and starts feeling like a machine stuck in poetry mode. Real writers use metaphors like seasoning. So you don't pour half a bottle of salt on your food, you put a pinch here and there, and you choose metaphors that fit the character's point of view and the concrete situation. So the fix here is pretty simple. You cut most of them. If you look at a page and every second sentence is some grand image about the heartbeat of something, you trim that. Keep the 1 or 2 metaphors that actually reveal something specific about the scene or character, and then kill the rest. The second mistake is over-explaining meaning like a school essay. AI hates trusting you to get it, so it will give you a nice, concrete moment and then immediately tack on a vague, analytical sentence about what that moment says about identity or memory or the human condition, or it will close a scene with overall or ultimately, and then summarize the significance of everything you just read. That's exactly how students write when they're worried that the teacher won't get their point, and in creative writing, it just makes your story feel like a book report about itself. The fix is end scenes on action or images or lines of dialogue, not on commentary. If you find yourself constantly zooming out to talk about what this represents in abstract terms, you strip that commentary out and see if the scene still works. 90% of the time it does, so let the reader do some of the connecting. That's what makes it feel like art and not like homework. The third mistake is this kind of travel guide puffery and brochure language. This is where AI turns every location into something that sounds like a tourism website. So towns are always nestled in the heart of something, and streets are bustling hubs of culture and activity. Cafes might offer visitors a glimpse into the rich tapestry of community life. Nothing is just a cramped bar that smells like spilled beer. Everything showcases something and stands as a testament to something else. In fiction or memoir, this completely breaks immersion because real narrators and real characters do not think about their own neighborhoods like ad copy. The fix is to ask yourself, if this character were complaining about this place to a friend, how would they describe it? That strips away the brochure tone, and you go back to a simple, grounded details such as the flickering sign, the table, the one guy who's always there at 9 a.m. with gin and tonic. And if your paragraph could be pasted into a travel blog and still work, it's probably too AI adjacent. The fourth mistake is synonym roulette, also called elegant variation. Humans repeat themselves. We latch onto certain words. A character calls their town a town. They don't call it the settlement in one paragraph, and then the community in the next, and then the urban center after that, just to avoid repetition. AI, on the other hand, is obsessed with mixing up vocabulary, so you'll see the same object renamed 3 or 4 times in a row. It feels clever on the surface, but what it actually does is destroy voice. The reader stops feeling like a specific person is talking to them and starts feeling like a thesaurus exploded. The fix is to give yourself permission to repeat the honest word. If your POV character is a 12-year-old kid, they are not going to call their school an educational institution just to spice it up. You pick the word that fits the voice and you keep that. Consistency of language is one of the biggest markers of a human narrator. By the way, if you've made it this far, you might be a good fit for the Story Hacker membership. I'll have a link down below so you can learn more about that if you are interested. So the fifth mistake is dodging simple is and are with fake fancy word. AI has this weird shyness about just saying the cafe is small or the market is loud. Instead, everything serves as or stands as or boasts or features, offers, represents. The house doesn't just sit on the hill, it stands as a beacon of resilience. And the river doesn't just run through the town, it offers a serene backdrop to daily life. One or two of those is fine, but when every noun has to serve as something, your prose starts to sound like a press release. The fix is actually just going back to your sentences and asking, could I swap this verb for a simple is without losing anything important? Which is funny because that used to be the opposite advice for authors, but now because AI tends to overdo it, we now actually need to rein it back in. If the answer is yes, try it. You'll be shocked at how much more grounded and human your writing feels when you simply let simple verbs do their job and reserve the fancy ones for moments that actually need elevation. The sixth mistake is the not just X but Y. This is where the text keeps leaning on parallel structures to sound deep. So something isn't just a mirror, it's not a mirror but a portal. A character isn't just tired, they're not just tired but haunted. This construction itself isn't evil because humans use it too, but the problem is when AI leans on it every time it wants to sound insightful. It's like a rhetorical crutch. If I say it's not just this, it's also that, it must be profound. Readers pick up on that pattern pretty fast, and it starts to feel like the text is straining for meaning instead of earning it. The fix is to save that structure for rare, genuinely important moments, and otherwise just say what the thing is. You don't have to perform depth with clever syntax. You can just show depth by what actually happens in the scene. The seventh mistake is mechanical rule of three patterning. Humans do like lists of threes, it's a natural rhythm, but AI takes that and cranks it up to 11. So you get pages where almost every description is cold, quiet, and unforgiving, or hope, memory, and resilience, or economically, socially, and culturally. At first, it sounds kind of nice. Then your ear starts to notice that three-pattern drumbeat. It stops feeling like a voice and starts feeling like a template. And the fix is to vary your rhythm on purpose. Some sentences can be short and blunt, some can stretch, some can have two things, some can have four, some none. And if you read a page aloud and you notice yourself falling into the sing-song pattern of three-part lists, go back and break a few of them. Your prose will instantly feel more alive. Now, I know this is a lot to keep in your head while you're drafting, and you don't want to just sit there in the middle of a scene wondering, is this my third try on this page? So in a minute, I'm going to show you how you can set up a custom Claude skill designed specifically to hunt for one or two of these patterns in your writing and flag them for you so that you can stay in creative mode and let the tool help you with cleanup later. Okay, so I have here a just generic Wikipedia page that shows signs of AI writing. And we're going to use this to help us create a Claude skill that can help to filter these issues out of your writing. So in Claude, if you go on the side here, over here on the side, it'll say customize. You want to select that and then go to add, create with Claude. All right. And what this will do is it'll essentially bring up the Claude skill creator. We're going to put something like this. I want you to take the following common AI tell and create a skill that is designed to identify, remove, and replace those issues in a given text. And then all you have to do, we're going to go to that Wikipedia page and I'm going to, let's just pick one. And here's what I would be very careful to do. Don't try to create a skill that does too many things because AI always works better when you really focus it on one or two tasks. We're going to go with this promotional and advertising like language. So I'm just going to copy everything that we have here, copy that, and we're going to go into this Claude skill creator, paste that in, and just let it go. Okay, so now it has actually finished our skill and we can just go ahead and hit save skill here. And now if I just go back to the chatbot, I can do a / and then select that AI tell scrubber skill that it just made and say, I want you to scrub this text for AI tells. Let's just grab some of the example prose that Wikipedia gives us here, which are not included in the skill. They just use this to make the skill. But if we go and do this, we'll just go ahead and hit go on that. So now the AI has gone through and actually identified all of the issues. So I'm going to say now rewrite it to not include those issues. And there it goes. Now we have a much more trimmed down version of that text. So to wrap this up, I want you to remember the goal is not to eliminate every single pattern that ever appeared in AI text. Humans use metaphors. Humans sometimes say the not X but Y formula, and humans occasionally write like travel guides. The goal is to avoid the density and the combination of these tells that make your work smell machine generated. You still get to use AI as a drafting assistant or as an idea partner. You just just don't get to let it drag your voice toward the statistical average of the whole internet. If you want to go a little bit deeper and see how I wire all of this into a complete end-to-end writing process, from brainstorming to outlining to drafting with AI to editing to publishing, I've got a full course video here on YouTube that walks you through my entire system. In that video, I show you how I keep the human in charge at every stage so that the book sounds like you and not a model trying to impress your English teacher. So if you're thinking this is helpful, but how do I put it all together into a workflow that actually gets me from blank page to finished book, that full course is your next step. Click over to that next, give it a watch and take notes, and then pick one concrete change to make in your current draft. Because the writers who win in this new AI world are not the ones pretending it doesn't exist, and they're not the ones handing it the wheel. They're the ones who learn the patterns, use the tools, and still take responsibility for every line with their name on it. And I'll see you in the next video.